Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stabitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Didati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Kubika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Rishabhana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, today we start a new chapter, 24, 8th canto. We're going to do verses 1 to 3. Chapter is entitled Matsya, the Lord's fish incarnation. Thank you all for coming to class. So that's verse number 3. So I'll speak verses 1 and 2, and then we'll chant in the normal manner in this way. So, verse number 1. Shri Rajavacha Bhagavan Shrutam Ichchami Hare Abhuta Karmana Avatara Katam Ajam Matsya Vidhabhanam. Maharaj Parikshit said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is eternally situated in his transcendental position. Yet, he descends to this material world and manifests himself in various incarnations. His first incarnation was that of a great fish. O most powerful Sukadev Goswami, I wish to hear from you the pastimes of that fish incarnation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is all-powerful, yet he accepts the form of an uncommon fish. This is one of the 10 original incarnations of the Lord. So, I'll chant verse 2, and then we'll do verse 3 and the translation accordingly. Yadatam adhadhad rupam matsyam loka jugutsitam tama prakriti durmasam karma grasta iveshavaraha. Please repeat. Etan no Bhagavan sarvam yatavad vaktum ahasi utamasloka charitam sarva loka sukhavaham etam no bhagavan sarvam yatavad vaktum ahasi uttamasloka charitam sarvaloka sukhavaham. Okay, word for word, please repeat. Etad, all these facts. Naha, unto us. Bhagavan, O most powerful sage. Sarvam, everything. Yathavat, properly. Vaktum ahasi, kindly describe. Uttamasloka charitam, the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarvaloka sukham avayaham, by hearing of which everyone becomes happy. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. What was the purpose for which the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepted the abominable form of a fish, exactly as an ordinary living being accepts different forms under the laws of karma? The form of a fish is certainly condemned and full of terrible pain. Oh my Lord, what was the purpose of this incarnation? Kindly explain this to us, for hearing about the pastimes of the Lord is auspicious for everyone. Please repeat. What was the purpose for which the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepted the abominable form of a fish, exactly as an ordinary living being accepts different forms under the laws of karma? That form of a fish is certainly condemned and full of terrible pain. Oh my Lord, what was the purpose of this incarnation? Kindly explain this to us, for hearing about the pastimes of the Lord is auspicious for everyone. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. Parikshit Maharaj's question to Sukadev Goswami was based on this principle stated by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad-Gita 4.7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati dharma bharata abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Translation. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharat, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. The Lord appears in each incarnation to save the world from irreligious principles, and especially to protect his devotees, Pritranaya Sadhunam. Vamanadev, for example, appeared to save the devotee Bali Maharaj. Similarly, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepted the abominable form of a fish, he must have done so to favor some devotee. Parikshit Maharaj was eager to know about the devotee for whom the Supreme Lord accepted this form. Mukum karochi vachalam phangam laite girim yad kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru dinatarinam. Starting again with verse number 1. Maharaj Parikshit said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is eternally situated in his transcendental position. Yet he descends to this material world and manifests himself in various incarnations. His first incarnation was that of a great fish. O most powerful Sukadev Goswami, I wish to hear from you the pastimes of that fish incarnation. What was the purpose for which the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepted the abominable form of a fish, exactly as an ordinary living being accepts different forms under the laws of karma. The form of a fish is certainly certainly condemned and full of terrible pain. Oh my Lord, what was the purpose of this incarnation? Kindly explain this to us, for hearing about the pastimes of the Lord is auspicious for everyone. So, introductory verses to the Matsya incarnation. Now there's a point we have to understand very clearly. We've been brought up in this impersonal material world where people are under the spell of the material energy. The material energy is impersonal, it is achit, it is unconscious, and it is subject to laws. So those that investigate the material world, they search for the laws that govern this material energy. And they think that if we understand the laws, then we will understand how the material energy works, and then they think we can exploit the material energy better, we can regulate it better, we can have a better life. Because just like it is said here, for the fish, it is abominable, it is full of pain. So life is suffering. Dukkalayam asashvatam. It's all temporary, all the relationships, and dukkalayam, it is full of suffering, and asashvatam, it is painful. So therefore there's an impetus, especially when the soul attains the human body, to inquire, how can I get out of this suffering? In fact, that was the question that Sanatana Goswami asked Lord Chaitanya when they met. Ke ami? What am I and why am I suffering? So everybody, when they come to a little intelligence, then they inquire, why am I suffering? Actually, there's only two impetus for activity in this world. One is we try to enjoy, at least the materialist, just enjoy the senses. And the second impetus is we want to avoid suffering. We want to enjoy on one hand, and on the other hand we want to kick out suffering. So this impels us. So we inquire into the material nature and we try to understand what it is, what are the laws governing it. And it is reasonable to extrapolate then that this material energy is working under the laws. Therefore we have physics, chemistry, biology, and they analyze their observations in terms of mathematics. However, we must understand from the point of view of Vaishnavism that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is personal. He is not bound by the laws, as is mentioned here. When he incarnates, he is not bound by the laws of karma. This is his Leela. Now, it is very important. Atakshri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavad Graham Indrayai. That the Supreme Lord and his pastimes are beyond the material energy. You cannot apply the material laws to understanding them. So we must understand that whenever we try to go beyond the material energy and the laws that govern it. And this is the real solution. Now there's only three definitions that can be proposed for the absolute truth. Either it doesn't exist at all, it's void. Second one is it's impersonal energy, nirvisesh sunyavadi. And the other one is personalism. It is a person. Now, within the heart, we naturally understand that this is a creation of a creator. This has a source, and the source is supreme. And we see design, we see personality throughout the creation. And so even a child at 5 years old or even younger can understand who made this world. And the mother and the father say, God made it. Who is God? He's a very powerful person. He's up in the sky somewhere. And the child will immediately understand, yes, there's a God. Why is that? Because everyone is a spirit soul. Angsa of Krishna. The Supreme Lord is the fire, we're the spark. He's the mountain of gold, we're the particle of gold. He's the ocean, we're the drop of ocean. So we have a natural resonance for understanding the Supreme Lord, because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So when we hear, just like it is said here, the pastimes of the Lord, even in the most rudimentary form, it rings the bell within the soul. We start to understand. So if you say to that same 5-year-old child, oh, no, all this variety and the creation has come from a big light in the sky, a big Brahman effulgence, a big light, and it has no qualities, no distinction, no variety, then the child will, What does that mean, Mummy? I don't understand that. What do you mean? It's a big light in the sky. But if you say to the child, it's a person, he'll immediately understand. So therefore, Shankaracharya he's actually a covered personalist. He said, Bhaju Govindam, Bhaju Govindam, Bhaju Mogindam, Mudamate Nahi Rakshiti Dukrin Karine. Worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. Your grammatical jugglery and all the rest of it will not save you at the time of death. So this is just wordplay to try and establish that all the variety that we see has come from something which has no variety. It is illogical. And then the material scientist comes forward and he says, oh no, actually it's not a big light in the sky. And anyway, even if you say it is a big form of energy, that is a quality, is it not? You're contradicting yourself if you say if there's some kind of impersonal energy that is nirvisesh, nirguna, without quality, because just to exist is a quality. To be effulgent, to be the light behind the creation is a quality. Light is a quality, is it not? So even from the base point, their assertion that the Supreme Law or the Supreme Cause of all causes is impersonal, they defeat themselves. So, but then we have the Voidist comes forward and he says, well, actually there is no absolute truth. They change their theory every time. When I was a child, it was a big chunk that exploded. Then it was a small chunk. And then it was nothing that exploded. And now it's a singularity that expressed itself into all the variety. That's why they have to publish the science magazine every month, because every month there's a different theory, and every month it's being changed. So change means it's foolish. It means it's wrong. You don't change things that are correct. Water boils at 100 degrees C. You don't change that part. So the problem is they're interpreting beyond their capacity. And if you say nothing exploded or nothing exists, well then you're contradicting yourself again, because by definition nothing does not exist. Therefore, if we understand that, if you look in the dictionary, nothing means the absence of anything. So if it is absent of everything, how can it create? How can it be the cause of a creation even if it is exploded? If you explode nothing, then that's a very nice thing. Like we're sitting in the temple and the security guard asks us, was it safe in the temple? And we say, oh, nothing exploded. That means nothing happened. So nothing can't explode. And if you say to the same 5-year-old child, go to the shop and get some toffees. On Saturday, when in England, they used to parents usually give the children a few pennies and they go to the shop and buy toffees. So no, that's all right. The child says, I've got nothing in my pocket. So then the mother says, don't worry, tell the shopkeeper, from nothing comes everything. So give me some toffees. The child will say, Mummy, what's going on? Only something can explode. Only something can create. Huh? So, but that something, atak Shri Krishna namadi na bhavad grayam indriyai, that is beyond the materially conditioned body and mind. Huh? The second part, that's Rupa Goswami, Sevan Mukhi hi jivado swayam eva spuryada. The Supreme Lord manifests to those who start bhakti. And the advice is to start with the tongue, which means to take prasad and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then that transcendental Supreme Lord will manifest himself. And he is the origin of logic and law. But he is not bound by it. This is the point. So when he accepts these amazing incarnations, we should understand that. This is his free will. This is his Leela. The Supreme Lord is described in all the Vaishnava Shastras as Leela Mai. He's playful. He engages in pastimes. He's not a vibrating static light. He's an ecstatic person. So, and we can understand that even in this world, even say in India or China or Hong Kong or even in America, there are laws. But who governs the laws? Are they existing and maintained and operative without the intervention of a person? Right? Say you have a problem with the police. You go to the head of the police. He's the boss. And he says, yes, you didn't wear your crash helmet, but I'll pass it aside. I'll pass it over. Huh? We have laws of finance in every finance department, in every government of the world. But there's a man in charge who creates the laws, and there's a form of enforcement of the laws, and there's a result of the laws. But it's all governed by a person. They're not just existing without reference to anything else. Laws mean a lawmaker, do they not? A creation means a creator. And variety means the creator has variety. And the qualities and the variety, the guna that we see in the material world is evidence that the transcendental Lord is the lawmaker. But he is a very special person. Just like the Prime Minister, if he comes to Vrindavan or the President of India, does he have to drive on the left-hand side and follow the laws? Even in India they don't do that. They drive anywhere. But anyway, say the Prime Minister comes, he can go the wrong way roundabout, he can go other side, they close all the roads, these laws are not operative now. The big man is coming, so move aside. So this is a material example, but this is the fact. Krishna is the source of logic. He's the source of law, but he is, as the creator, is above that. Huh? Just like in yourselves, you have energy, do you not? But you, the person, are above that. And your energy, whatever it may be, is under the control of your personality. So this is the understanding that we must have when we apply our intelligence to the Supreme Lord and his Leela. Otherwise, we'll just think that these are just extraordinary stories made up to illustrate some philosophical point. That's if we're generous or something. But no, the Bhagavatam, with all its brilliance and its harmony and its poetry and the Vedas themselves, there is no literature like this. So the idea of Krishna and the avatars is not some kind of allegory. It is not some kind of imagination of an artist. It is a factual description of the Supreme and his activities and his devotees. And that's what the Bhagavatam is. It is an introduction to the Supreme Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada used to translate as the beautiful story of the personality of Godhead. So if we approach the Leela of the Supreme Lord and the Srimad Bhagavatam and Lord Chaitanya and Gaur Nitai and all the great devotees in this light, then we have no problem in understanding, because we have already understand how. Now, avatar. What does avatar? Prabhupada mentions avatar. So the Supreme Lord is not bound by the suffering of a fish when he's in the fish body. This is his expression. This is his Leela. So avatar. So in the Bhagavatam, early part, first canto, 6 types of avatar are explained. There's the Purusha avatar. They're the expansions of Vishnu. And we have Karanadakshay Vishnu, Shiradakshay Vishnu, so on, and Mahavishnu. Karanadak is Mahavishnu. And we have, they're Purusha avatars. They're expansions of the Supreme Lord. And avatar means one who descends from above. But it doesn't really mean spatially, because we're bound by time and space. But the Supreme Lord is not under time and space. That is his plaything in his Leela. If Krishna wants to expand one night into the length of Lord Brahma and dance the Ras Leela in that way, he can expand time. If he wants to go from Raman Reti to Radhakund in one step, he can do that. If he wants to take 10 minutes, or by way of illustration, material time, if he wants to drive the cows to another area in Govardhan for watering them, he can take as long as he likes or as short as he can. In the spiritual platform, time and space do not bind the devotees under the shelter of the Supreme Lord and the Supreme Lord himself. So we have to understand the spiritual world in terms of itself. That's the meaning of Spuryada. The understanding of transcendence is bestowed by the Supreme Lord through his mercy to the sincere soul. Spuryada. So if you want to understand the spiritual world, you have to bow before the Supreme Lord, bow before the bona fide spiritual master and say, please enlighten me. I'm a fallen soul. Namaskuru. Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. We have to approach. You are the Supreme Lord. Please give me understanding of your Leela. And this is what Parikshit Maharaj, as Prabhupada explains in the purport, is approaching Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami, you're the Paramahamsa. You're completely renounced of any material thing. Please explain to me the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And that's what the Bhagavatam is. So therefore, nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. If you hear the Bhagavatam, which is transcendental knowledge, it will placate the lower modes, nasta praya abhadreshu, and then you can actually start to appreciate spuryada. You will get vision, you will get intuition, teaching from inside of the Supreme Lord. So the avatars, they descend to this material, the Purusha avatars, Paramatma, Mahavishnu, the Chatuvyuha, Vasudev Shankasan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and they govern the material energy. So then below them, there are the Guna avatars, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and they govern the material modes under which we are influenced and driven in this material world. So Brahma governs the mode of passion, the creative impetus. Vishnu, he is therefore in a dual role, if you like, as a Guna avatar and a Purusha avatar. He's governing the mode of goodness, because the mode of goodness, as we say, gives enlightenment. It's the airport to transcendence. You can take off from the mode of goodness into transcendence. And then Lord Shiva governs the mode of ignorance, and he's Bhutanath. He controls all the lower entities and demons and yaksas, pretas, pichashas, and so on. So then below there is the Manvantaras. Manvantara, just like this is Chakshusha Manvantara. So the Manvantaras, one day of Lord Brahma is a 1,000 Divya Yugas. So there are 7 Manvantaras. So that makes 72 Divya Yugas, or 72 in some cases, make up 1,000. So this took place, this Leela of saving the Vedas through Matsya and the devotees and the seeds and the grains, this took place at the end of the day of Brahma, when Brahma lies down. Now when Brahma lies down and rests for the same period in his night, then the Vedas emanate from himself. They are snatched by Hayagriva, and this Leela is to kill, part of the Leela here is to take back the Vedas from Hayagriva. So like you must understand again, this is amazing Leela. We shouldn't be conditioned and think, oh, I'm living on earth and I can lift 10 kilos or I can run 100 meters, and that's the limit of the Supreme Lord's power and entity. And therefore the conditions that I am under in my conditioned life, they are expressed throughout the universe and expressed in the Leela of the Supreme Lord. No. So the Manvantara avatars, then there is the Yuga avatars. So in every cycle of the ages, Satya, Treta, Dwarka, Kali, there is a Yuga avatar, and that Yuga avatar gives the most pertinent spiritual practices for that age. They're always part of the Navavidha Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atman, Nivedam. They're always part of that, but in different ages, in different yugas, a certain practice is most pertinent. Say in Treta Yuga, Yagya. In Dwarpa Yuga, the most pertinent practice was deity worship. Therefore, there's still remnants of big temples left on the planet. In Satya Yuga, the most pertinent practice was Smaranam, Dhyan, Samadhi. And in Kali Yuga, Kalo Dosha Nidera Sham Asti Eka Mahadguna Kirtanad Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Brajet. The most, Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, but they can all be overcome by Sankirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But that has to be combined with Shravanam. Because in every age you must hear and understand the Supreme Lord, and then perform the most pertinent practices. All the practices you can do in every age, but the most pertinent ones are accented in the Sankirtan movement of Gaur Nitai. Sankirtan means congregational chanting, chanting individually also, or chanting within the mind. You can practice all these, but you must hear, you must get the right conception. You must have the right understanding, or else your progress will be very short and slow because of a lack of understanding. So then there's the Yuga avatars, then there's the Shaktivesh avatar. Shakti means energy, Avesh dressed. So like Purusharam, he was very furious, and because the Kshatriyas had done terrible things to his father. So he's Shakti Avesh. So he expressed great power Vedavyas wrote down the Vedas, he Shakti-Avesh. So that often Rishabdev, they say, is Shakti-Avesh, but in some cases, when there's not a suitable jiva, the Supreme Lord himself incarnates. For example, if there is not a suitable jiva to be empowered as Lord Brahma, then the Supreme Lord expands as Lord Brahma. So Shakti-Avesh is like that. Sometimes it's an empowered jiva who's a great devotee who wants to serve, or even the Supreme Lord asks that devotee, serve in this manner, compile the Vedas. Oh, there's no suitable devotee, I'll become Vedavyas. I'll personally compile the Vedas. And also we can understand, if you study the Vedas, if you study the Bhagavatam, if you study the Puranas, these are not man-made literatures. They're without comparison in the whole universe. The Brahma Samhita, all the incredible literature. If there's any other literature that comes near to it, that is just your foolishness. You have to inquire directly and see. So therefore Shravanam is actually the most important, because unless you hear the Maha Mantra, how are you ever going to chant it? Unless you hear about a yajna, how are you going to perform it? Unless you hear about from Guru what is meditation, how to perform it, how are you going to do it? So Shravanam is the key. So therefore we must hear the Bhagavatam, we must hear the words of Guru and the sadhus. Shastra, sadhu, Guru. And then we get the right picture and our practice becomes very potent. We start to realize that which we have heard. So the Shakti-Avesh avatar, and then there is the Leela avatar. They are the pastime incarnation. The pastime incarnation is Ram. Ram Chandra is a good example. He is the Supreme Lord has 4 types of personalities described in the Nectar of Devotion, Ujjvala Nilamani, Dhira Lalita, Dhira Shanta, Dhiradatta and Dhiroddatta. Dhiroddatta is Parashuram, very angry. So Dhira Shanta means peaceful person. So Lord Ram, he's the emblem of supreme peacefulness. Even the day before his coronation, I think it was Kartikeya, demanded of Janaki Maharaj, oh, we don't want him on the throne. You promised me. Ram said, okay, I'll go to the forest, as Kartikeya demanded. Without any, hey, what's going on? No, perfectly peaceful. So Krishna is Dhira Lalit. It's playful. Lalita Madhava. So, these are the 6 avatars, categories. But also in the Bhagavatam it explains that the avatars, that they are as numberless as the waves on the ocean. These are the primary ones, just like we have Mahajans for bhakti, for the 9 processes. So the Leela, the avatars of the Supreme Lord are explained in the beginning of the Bhagavatam as unlimited as the waves in the ocean. Can you quote the waves in the ocean? No, you can't. So the Supreme Lord, his avatars are unlimited. But these primary ones are given as example. Also there is another mention in the Shastra, personality empowered or semi-empowered is a Vibhu. Just like in the Gita we hear Yad Yad Vibhutimat Satram, Vibhuti, Srimad Urjitam Eva Tat Tat Eva Kachachtvatram Mya Shamba Sambhavam. That Arjuna, just understand, Krishna tells Arjuna, all the wonderful things you see in this world are just an expression of a spark of my splendor. So Vibhuti means when you see some wonderful artist, say a great ballet dancer, or a great singer, or a great Kshatriya, or a very learned person, somebody that has some special ability, very beautiful woman, that is vibhuti. It is a bestowal of opulence. So that indicates the blessing of the Supreme Lord upon that soul. And generally you find that very talented people, they are also very mystical and believing in some transcendental thing. So that is vibhuti, but that is below Shakti Avesh, but they're still very powerful personalities. Big political leaders, so on and so forth. Vibhuti, they have a certain power, charisma, ability. So, mentioned here is the first of the 10 incarnations, the Das Avatar. So Matsya is the first. So you're all learned devotees. You know the second one is Kurma. And then the third is Vraha. Fourth is Nrsingadev. Fifth is Vamana. Sixth is Purusharam. Seventh is Ramchandra. Eighth is Krishna Balaram. And seventh is Buddha Dev, not the second Buddha, Sakuni Buddha, but the original Buddha. And the 10th is Kalki. So these are the 10 Das avatars. And it's interesting to note, Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Srila Bhakti Vinod, they explain these in a very interesting way. Prabhupada says this is a kind of evolution. Now the material scientists that think everything came from nothing, everything exploded, what do they say? There was a big bang. How nothing can make a big bang, I don't know. But that is their mystical start. Everything came from nothing. So anyway, and then they say it all became conscious somehow or other. And then it started to evolve into different life forms. That's the third idea. And then the fourth idea, there's no use to it all. It doesn't matter because it's all going to collapse. They believe there's a big bang and then it's all going to collapse. But where did space and time come from? Who made that? Was that in the Big Bang? So it's like trying to cross the ocean. Empiricism is like trying to cross the ocean. It's like trying to build a walkway across the ocean. You might get 10 foot into the ocean, 20 foot, but you'll never cross an ocean by making a wooden walkway. So the material scientists, they have an idea that we have evolved, and it's interestingly, it corresponds with this Das Avatar. Because they say there was a big primordial soup, and within that, things became conscious. And then for some reasons, they wanted to get on the land out of the soup. They want to get on the edge of the bowl. So there's the Matsya in the ocean. And then the next step is Kurma. He can go in the ocean and on the land. And then the material scientists said, then the vertebrates started to exist. So then we have Varaha, an animal that roots around. He may jump in the water, but he can't live there. So then you have half man, half human, Nrsingadev. Half animal, half man. So then you're evolving from an animal to a kind of semi-animal, semi-human. This is not but this is spoken by the acharyas. We understand more purely the proper understanding. And then you have Vamana, who is a dwarf. He's like, you might say he's the missing link, or he's a pygmy or something. But of course he's the Supreme Lord, but he's a progression, he's not half animal. But then you have Purusharam, who is, like I say, he's got the Shakti, Dhirodota, he's angry. So he's like an uncivilized man. Instead of settling things peacefully with the Kshatriyas, that's actually explained why the Vedic system broke down, because Parashuram, being a Kshatriya birth, his father was a Kshatriya, I think Janava, was it Janava? Anyway, he should have tolerated. The Brahminical class are meant to tolerate, like at the beginning of the Bhagavatam, like the personality of Dharma was tolerating and not pointing the finger at Kali. So, but instead, he became Duradata and chastised the Kshatriyas. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Bhakti Prabhupada also in lectures, he explains that for 21 generations Parashuram was hacking away at the Kshatriyas, and it was those Kshatriyas that spread all over the world, and particularly they went east from India into Europe. And Prabhupada on one lecture he says, so actually, and even the geneticists, they say the Indo-European peoples, that there's a relationship genetically between the Indo and the Europeans. And so Prabhupada explains that the Kshatriyas, they mixed with the indigenous people of Europe, and that became the European race. And therefore you see in the Europeans, they have this Kshatriya nature. They go all over the world organizing things. They have that organizational Kshatriya management ability. And also they went west. They went west, and some went east. And therefore you have the Kshatriyas. But of course, Prabhupada says, and therefore you European people are actually Aryans, but I'm coming to reawaken your proper understanding of culture. These are the statements of the Acharyas. If you want to read in detail, get the Chaitanya Shikshamrita by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In the first part, he explains this. So then you have Parashuram, then you have Ram, who is the perfect human being, civilized, peaceful, sober, intelligent, faithful to his mother and father, serves the mother and father, is completely dedicated to the protection of his wife, always truthful. And then you have Krishna Balaram, who is the, if you like, he can be interpreted in many ways, but if you interpret it in terms of this evolutionary idea, he's enjoying the material world, or he's enjoying Leela. Now they're very mysterious, of course, you're learned Vaishnavas, but he's not enjoying in a material way, he's enjoying and illustrating the freedom of enjoyment in the spiritual platform. So he is the apex, therefore he is Adipurisham, as Lord Brahma, he's the original person. And then, after this playfulness, Dira Lalit, what do you have? Dira Dut, you have Buddha Dev, who illustrates a certain principle, that yes, after you've enjoyed in this material world, you must become renounced. You must give it up. So Buddha Dev, he is Shaktivesh of renunciation. The 6 main categories of opulence for Krishna are beauty, strength, renunciation, opulence, fame, and knowledge. So, Buddha Dev, the apex of knowledge, is to become renounced from this world. A man of knowledge is not attached to the 3 modes. He's not trying to enjoy in this world. And then finally, Kalki Avatar teaches us that at the end of it all, you're going to die. He comes at Yuga Sandhya. He doesn't come at the end. Some people say he comes at the end of Kali Yuga. No, actually, if you want to be accurate in your language, which you should be, it's Yuga Sandhya. He's at the junction, at the end of Kali Yuga, and the start of Satya Yuga. He rides on the white horse, that is Baladev. And people have degraded to such a point. Of course, there is a line of Brahmanas actually, still. And in the Bhagavatam it explains where Kalki will be born. It even gives his mother and father, it even gives the location. And we know that if you go to the Himalayas, Vaishnavi Devi is going to marry Kalki Dev. She's performing austerities up in the Himalayas there. So that is expansion of Durga Devi, Radharani ultimately. So that is the lesson of Kalki, and it explained all the people, they can't be preached with. They can't be, they become so degraded at the end of Kali Yuga. We can see now the demons are trying to degrade all society, homosexual marriage, drugs, abortion. The land the air is polluted, the waters, the rivers are polluted. This is the work of the demons because they want to rape Mother Earth instead of serving Mother Earth. This is the demons. They see the earth as some impersonal object to rape. Take the minerals, take the oil, never mind the pollution. We'll blame it on the population. We'll get the money and fill our pockets, and we'll just teach them all sorts of stupid ideas. So these are the demons that are very powerful in Kali Yuga. How are they defeated? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So there's always, in the spiritual world, everyone is God conscious, but in the material section of the creation, there's always two parties. The God conscious and the godless. So we want to increase the party of the God conscious by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we want to make the godless party the Krishna conscious party. Just like Bibhishan, he was stuck there with Ravana, but he thought, why am I supporting this brother of mine? He's an imbecile. He snatched Sita Devi. He wants to exploit Sita Devi. No. Sita Devi should be worshipped. She is the mother principle. So the earth should be worshipped. The cow should be worshipped. The wife of the Brahmin should be worshipped. The wife of the qualified Kshatriya should be worshipped. But now we find in Kali Yuga, women are being exploited. They've been turned into workers and told to take birth control pills, kill your baby in the womb. They've been turned into abominable, and they're being fooled and nurtured. It shows how easily women can be misled. Therefore, Arjuna insisted in the beginning, Krishna, if we kill all these great Kshatriyas, who will protect the women? Now we have demons in charge of the world, and the women are being degraded. Perform abortion. March down for the road for women's rights. Women's liberation. Women's liberation has been a disaster for women. It's been a disaster for the children. The children are growing up in some kindergarten without mother and father. The mother and father are working just to support some shack in an apartment block. The children are getting no loving care. They come home and they're so exhausted they can only sit in front of the television. The mother can't cook for the children anymore, so they go to McDonald's and buy some poison to fill the child's belly. So this is the work of the Asura. And how do we counter it? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. And if they don't convert, they are bound for the sword of Kalki. So they should be warned. So thank you all very much. We'll finish on that happy note. Jai Shri Radhe Shyam Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai.